A little bit more about me. So I graduated from the University of Michigan in 2019. Go Blue to anyone else who's familiar with U of M. I love spicy food. It's my favorite food. And my family, my beautiful family up here, is the reason why I do everything that I do. So I saw a couple of people who agreed with me on the spicy food. Some people that were like, hell no, never eating spicy food in my life. Another cheesy icebreaker for you guys. Turn to the person next to you. I promise I have a point. Tell them if you love spicy food or hate spicy food. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of emotional reactions to this. I promise we'll circle back to the point I was trying to make on this. It comes full circle. Now that you know more about me, I would love to learn more about you guys. And I know you've done this probably like 10 times already today. But how many of you guys use Instagram or TikTok as your primary acquisition channel for the brands you own or companies you work for? Okay, a couple of hands. How many of you guys are B2C? How many of you guys are B2B? Okay, awesome. No matter what industry you're in, what niche you serve, likelihood is your content as it stands today across these social platforms is outdated. And it's not your fault. Social landscapes are changing at rapid speed, and what was popular on TikTok and Instagram even last year is no longer an effective strategy today. And it's not just us. Brands everywhere are trying to figure out how do you attract the Gen Z audience to the content that you're creating to get them to convert. There are 3 reasons why brands fail. 1, the amount of noise in content today. I literally pulled up a stat just a couple of minutes ago that on average, one user sees 10,000 ads per day, which is crazy to me. It's somewhere between 6K to 10K. So how are you creating content that can pierce through that noise to make your users stop their scroll and pay attention to what you're talking about? Number 2, interaction. Like I just mentioned, the Instagram and TikTok landscape is changing rapidly. Gone are the days where it's now a peer-to-peer network where you're connecting with your friends. It's now a peer-to-all network. So how are you as a brand bringing community back into your content? And number 3, availability. As a brand or company today, you're expected to be on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. Jennifer did an amazing job of showing you how all these different platforms interact with each other. And gone are the days you can hit post to all where it goes everywhere. Your audience is expecting you to be at different locations at different times, not locations, but platforms at different times and connecting with them on a meaningful level. Before we go any further, I want to make sure everyone has a basic understanding of these metrics. How many of you guys know how to read these social media insights and analytics? Okay, everyone, I won't go into detail on them. How many of you guys think plays or reach most left is the most important metric that you should be capturing? A couple of hands. How many of you guys think it's likes? Shares? Sorry, comments? Shares? Saves? You're all wrong. I'm just kidding. You're all basically right. So I know we all love funnels as marketers. So I made this table, which is basically capturing the funnel of how you should be reading your social media insights to calculate how you're creating impact for your brands. Number 1 is reach. Again, cutting through that noise to make sure your content is heard and seen. Impressions, how many times is your content seen? Virality, after they saw it, did they find it compelling enough to share with their network, basically sharing it with their audience base? After that, did they find your content piece compelling enough to add to the noise in the content that they're going through daily and follow you? After they've done that, have they saved it, commented on it, and liked it, basically what we call the applause network? And after they've gone through all of that, have they gone out of their in-app experience to land on your website, to book you for a consultation or purchase your products, basically ruining the entertainment aspect of what these apps are designed to do? Most companies think community is built at that bottom section here, conversion. If I can just get someone to buy my product, if they can try it for the first time, if I could just meet them, then they're part of my community or tribe. Truth is, community happens in this applause section here. The micro conversations that are happening on behalf of your brand that's attracting a user to your content to get that conversation going. Everyone's trying to guess the algorithm, trying to go viral. If I could just go viral, then my content will win, my brand will win, we'll make a lot of money. Again, you want these micro conversations that are happening on behalf of your brand that's creating community in the content you serve. How many of you guys have been told value-driven content is the best content you should be posting? I'm sure everyone at some time or another. What value-driven content is functional content. It's that educational value, selling value, providing value to your audience base. Truth is, all you're doing is selling. If you're selling, pushing out, buy this now, here's why we're different, here's how we compete against the competitors, your audience is falling flat to that content. And what that does is creates a chokehold. Maybe they'll follow you, maybe they found some value in the education that you shared. What's the likelihood they're gonna comment and participate in that conversation after you've provided them value or selling content? Feelings trump other drivers of brand loyalty, including effort and success. Question we want to think is, how is our content creating feeling for our end user? Trust and community. What consumers actually believe or think, as measured by unconscious physical reactions, contradict what they say when directly asked. What we want to create is that unconscious feeling of why someone's attracted to your content, to get them to add you to their follower and network, and then take you to purchase. So how do we create trust and community? 3 words you're going to hear me say a lot throughout the rest of this presentation: transparency, authenticity, and polarization. These 3 things are what you need to create trust and community in your content. So what do these words mean? Transparency is how much you share. Authenticity is the truth of those words and actions. And polarization is how far you're willing to go to stay true to it. When these 3 attributes are firing at the same time across your content, you're able to break through that chokehold that value content can't do, get the applause section, and then move them to out of their in-app experience to purchase from your brand. So let's get into it. First one we're going to go through is transparency. How many of you guys know the guy on the left, Lorenzo Cain, baseball player? Okay, a couple of hands. I didn't know who he was either. How many of you guys know on the right, Doja Cat? A lot more hands here. So Taco Bell partnered with Lorenzo Cain and Doja Cat in 2015 and 2022. Lorenzo Cain to run a promotion on breakfast with Taco Bell, and then 2022 to bring back the Mexican pizza. In 2015, Taco Bell partnered with Lorenzo Cain to bring back, like I said, to bring back breakfast, not bring it back, but run a promotion on breakfast. And I'm going to play that ad for you guys now.
In Game 1 of the World Series, Lorenzo Cain stole a base from Kansas City. And breakfast for all of America. So run into Taco Bell on Thursday, November 5th from 7 to 11 a.m. to score your free AM Crunch Wrap. Way to go, Lorenzo.
So what a great value-driven piece of content. We saw, ignore this for now, but we saw it was Lorenzo Cain. He partnered with Taco Bell. The breakfast looked amazing, and that's all we know from this ad. Now transitioning to the 2021 to 2022 partnership Doja Cat had with Taco Bell, we get to see on Twitter the origin story of why Doja Cat partnered with Taco Bell. We didn't see that in the Lorenzo Cain video. We don't know why they partnered together. Does Lorenzo Cain even like Taco Bell? We don't know. But through here, we got to see the origin story of Doja Cat asking for her Mexican pizza back, Taco Bell humorously responding. Before I play the advertisement that Doja Cat was enlisted to do with Taco Bell, I'm going to play for you guys a precursor to that video that she posted then on TikTok. This precursor is also on TikTok.
Look, y'all, I just woke up and I'm aware that I look like this. So that's settled. The next thing is I got to do this fucking, you got to be quiet though. You can't tell anybody that I told you this. I got to do this fucking TikTok where I do like, and everybody keeps calling it a jingle. It's for Taco Bell and I got to just fucking jingle. By the way, I banned that word within my team, jingle. We're not allowed to say that. But I have to do a jingle. They want me to rap about Mexican pizza. So I just want to give you a heads up before you see that shit. Just know it's contractual. Shh. I know it's bad.
So what I love is even in the audience today, we got that feeling, unidentifiable feeling from the audience right here. You guys were laughing at that precursor video from Doja Cat. I didn't see any emotional response to that Lorenzo Cain video. And we see it in the comment section as well. Full transparency, love it. Should we all decide what we're gonna say in the comments when it goes up? 21.3 million people, your secret is safe with me. What Doja Cat has done is what I like to call breaking through the third wall, bringing her consumer base in on this quote unquote inside joke, and now they're all part of this humorous event together. Taco Bell then responds, acknowledging the fact that she was contractually obligated to partner with them. Again, this inside joke that no one would have understood unless they watched that video from Doja Cat. So now they're reaching for that content to explore it and become part of this inside joke between Taco Bell, Doja Cat, and Doja Cat's network. Now to bring it all full circle, I'm gonna play part of that ad for you guys.
Hi, I made a song about Mexican pizza because I love it so much. I wish that Taco Bell didn't discontinue it a year ago, and this led me to this monstrosity of a beat that I just made, and I wrote a verse, and I hope you like it. And if you don't, I understand. So let's go. Yeah, I got beans, I need meat, I need a shell with the sauce and cheese. Give you hell if you cross me, we about to throw hands if you want try me. This ain't been new, I will end you if you ever dare to go discontinued.
So even in the audience, I see some of you guys like, what the heck? I still don't get it. Like the Lorenzo Kane video was so clear. We knew exactly what the promotion was. This is almost nonsense, but that's almost the point. She has a sarcastic tone in nature, again, bringing back this inside joke that this whole community is part of now. We see it in the comments too. Nobody say jingle in reference to the video we just saw, and then absolutely contractual. Again, that inside joke, breaking that third wall, getting the applause through the transparency of her content, which creates trust and community. And the results are in the numbers. The collaboration between Doja Cat and Taco Bell drew in 31.2 million impressions across all social platforms, with a 79% positive sentiment towards the brand, of which 46,000 of those mentions were of Doja Cat and her collaboration with Taco Bell. And if you go to your local Taco Bell today, this whole promotion just happened. Mexican pizza is sold out. And I would like to think a big part of that had to do with Doja Cat's collaboration with Taco Bell and the transparency she had in her content. So how many of you guys are familiar with the consumer journey loop? I'm sure many people here. So just to explain it, first-time customer considers your brand against all of its competitors in the market, selects you, and then evaluates you based off of the needs that it has, and then purchases. After they purchase, they enjoy it. They then advocate on your behalf to their community network, and then bond directly with you. When you employ transparency in your content, again, the wealth of information you're sharing, you're making it much easier for a consumer to consider you against the other competitors in the market because they trust you. And then when they purchase from you, like we saw in the comment section with the Doja Cat videos, it makes it much easier for them to bond with you as well. Again, the three things we need to create trust and community in our content: transparency, authenticity, and polarization. Next one we're going to go through is authenticity. So let me explain this first. So there are two videos I'm about to show you guys. The first one is from Dove, and the second one is from Donata Skin Food. How many of you guys know the company Dove? Awesome. How many of you guys know the company Donata Skin Food? Okay, only one hand here. So Donata Skin Food is a small direct-to-consumer skincare and hair care brand that predominantly uses Instagram as their primary social media channel to acquire their new audience base. First, I'm going to play, these are both organic social posts on Instagram. First, I'm going to play Dove's video.
I am sitting here.
Sorry, I want to speak on it before we move forward. So what we see in the Dove video, again, that true value-driven piece of content. We know how the products pair well together, what they intend for you to use when you're packing for a trip, dubbed value-driven content. Now I'm going to play Donata's video.
I am sitting here trying to process these pictures and you sharing your testimony. Like, I know I see a lot of before and afters, but some before and afters really, really touch me, and this one does. Just to see how your son's face was before, and not even a week later, just literally 2 days. Is
Like, how powerful of a video is that? Not only do we see the images that the mom shared of her baby, we see the screenshots. We see the founder of the brand speaking over that content. Ignore what's on the screen, sorry. Founder of the brand speaking on how she reacted after seeing those videos, employing authenticity in her content. Truth is always in the numbers. So the Dove content piece got 22,000 plays, around 800 likes, 28 comments. I can't see shares and saves because obviously that's not public information. Though I reached out to Dove, I DM'd them and asked if I could get those numbers. They ignored me. Donata's video, on the other hand, had 45,000 plays, around 4,000 likes. So the difference between this and the Dove video, 22,000 plays, 800 likes, vastly different. 115 comments, 350 shares, 423 saves. Again, that funnel from reach to applause nailed it across the board. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. How can you compare a brand like Dove to a brand like Donata, where Donata primarily uses Instagram to draw in her traffic? Let's even the playing field. June 12th is the video that I just played for you guys, and June 9th is a video Donata posted quite similar to the Dove video, showing you products that pair well together to reduce ingrown hairs. On June 9th, we do not see, at 12 p.m. that content piece was posted, we don't see a huge spike in website clicks. We don't see a huge spike in sales. It didn't surpass, maybe it got to applause, but it didn't surpass applause to take the user out of their in-app experience to purchase from the brand or even visit the website. That June 12th video that I showed you guys of the baby with eczema, content piece posted around 12 p.m., we see a huge spike in website clicks. And not only that, because she employed authenticity in her content, the user trusted the content more, trusted the brand, and went straight to purchase. So let's bring it all back together. How does this make sense in the consumer journey loop? Similar to transparency, when you employ authenticity in your content, it becomes a lot easier to consider you against your competitors because they already trust you. They share the same values. When you've already purchased, then becomes a lot easier for them to advocate on your behalf to their peer network because, again, you share the same values. Very last one we're going to go through today, polarization. 3 things you need to build trust and community in your content: transparency, authenticity, polarization. This is our final one. What is polarization? It's the state of having 2 opposite or contradictory tendencies, opinions, or aspects. What polarization basically is pitting users against each other to draw out your target consumer, the people who are so drawn to your content and so unbelievably relating to what you're talking about that they become your loyal purchaser. Why is it important to employ polarization? Creates conversation. Again, that applause section that we crave, that creates community for your content, and it pressure tests your authenticity. So how far you're willing to go to stay true to what you believe in as a brand. How many of you guys know Ben & Jerry's? I'm sure everyone has a favorite flavor. So Ben & Jerry's does an amazing job at employing polarization in the use of social activism in their content. And some of you may think that's crazy. How can a brand like Ben & Jerry's, who's selling everywhere, employ polarization in the form of social activism? The reason why they do it, as shared by founder Ben Cohen, is the strongest bond you can create with customers is around a shared set of values, that authenticity piece. What drives loyalty and love for this brand are the things that we believe, that polarization, how far they're willing to go to stay true to that authenticity. How many of you guys know the brand Liquid Death? For those of you who did not raise your hand, it seemed like a lot more people raised their hand than I thought, but for those of you who did not raise your hands, how many of you guys thought I just put up a picture of beer cans? A lot of hands, exactly. So Liquid Death is a seltzer water company whose tagline is "Murder Your Thirst." I'm going to play an ad for you guys that they posted on YouTube.
Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
So I love that. Again, like we see in the audience, you guys have that feeling to the content. It's the thing you can't identify that attracts you to the content that you're seeing. So ways to employ polarization in your content, it could be like in Ben & Jerry's with social activism, or it can be what we saw in the liquid death concept of shocking and unbelievable or against the norm. Really what's gonna make you stop your scroll. Liquid Death could have totally posted a video saying, here's our seltzer water, here's why it's better than yours, here's why you need it, here's how we make it. But instead they created something that was gonna stop your scroll to compel you to actually watch it and cut through the noise. When you employ polarization in your content, when someone's evaluating you, it becomes a lot easier because they become your community base who believes the content you're sharing because it is polarized. After a first-time customer is purchased, they can then advocate similar to authenticity. It becomes a lot easier for them to advocate on your behalf because they share your mission and they believe that polarization content. So now let's bring it all together in a couple of minutes. As the old saying goes, sell the sizzle, not the steak. The steak is the value-driven educational content. And what I want you to take away from this is the sizzle is the transparency, authenticity, and polarization in the stories you're telling to your consumers. As head of social activism from Ben & Jerry's, Christopher Miller says, this isn't a 4-point marketing plan that was dreamed up by agency partners or our marketing team. These are the true values of your brand that's gonna bring your audience to your content. If you take away nothing from this presentation today, I hope you take away that transparency, authenticity, and polarization is not about being honest. It's about bringing your consumer along for the journey of your brand and meeting them where their values are to share that over and over again. When transparency, authenticity, and polarization are firing at the same time, this consumer journey loop becomes a lot cheaper to acquire a new customer. They stay with you for longer, and because they trust you, you become their one-stop shop to purchase way more than they would have before. How many of you guys have read Donald Miller's Building a Story Brand? If you haven't, I would definitely recommend reading this book. If you haven't read the book, how many of you guys have watched a Disney movie? I'm sure almost everyone in this room. So you know the basic framework. A character has a problem, meets a guide, gives them a plan, calls them to action that ends in success and helps them avoid failure. When we employ transparency, authenticity, and polarization in our content, these are the areas of our storytelling that become much stronger. Like we saw with Ben & Jerry's, how they employ social activism to make their brand's problems their community's problems. We saw with Doja Cat how she was called to action to participate in this Taco Bell jingle that she didn't want to. And like we saw with the Donata Skin Food, the baby with eczema, how it ended in success, the results we saw helped avoid failure, the before pictures we saw. You might have come in here today and thought polarization will get your brand hate. It's more important to stay neutral. Transparency degrades the value of your product. If you're sharing so much, why would they trust what you're selling? Authenticity takes away the focus of your product. If you're not talking about your product, if you're not selling, how are they gonna buy? This method doesn't result in conversion or higher average order value. I hope now you know that polarization draws out your target consumer to be loud and proud about your brand. Transparency makes it easy for consumers to follow your journey to success because you're making that information available to them. Authenticity makes the user trust your products more, even when you're not talking about it. An emotional pull, that unidentifiable feeling that someone has from your content, results in higher lifetime value and higher average order value. And if all of that failed you, but you found my presentation compelling today, just know I employed these 3 things in our talk today. I employed authenticity when I called out the elephant in the room, being one of the few Gen Zers in the room. I employed transparency when I showed you the Dove, me reaching out to Dove, and they didn't respond to me asking about those 2 metrics. And I employed polarization in that cheesy icebreaker I had you guys go through of the spicy food versus non-spicy food. So thank you guys for your time today. We have maybe like time for 1 question. And in true Gen Z fashion, I've QR coded my Instagram here. I would love to connect with you guys. Thank you so much.